Continuing with our series on jobs and salaries of 2024 from finance and accounting qualifications, today let me cover CPA US, one of the most known CA qualifications besides our Indian Chartered Accounting. Let's start with India as we always do, right? If you are a fully qualified CPA, it means you've completed the 4 exams and had your 1 year of experience, which means you're a CPA licensed member. And if this is the case, the companies that hire you in India are, of course, the Big Four, KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, EY, Grant Thornton, BDO. I always name these. But there are lots of US companies that also take you, right? So you have Apple, Amazon, Capgemini. You look at any major MNC, because a lot of US companies, what they do is they outsource their accounting to India, because for them it is cheaper to pay accountants in India than if the same accountant was paid for the same work in the US, obviously. So that's the kind of opportunity you have. Almost any company which is serving the US, and for that matter, I've seen a lot of CPAs who are clever enough to also handle anything for India, because once you learn a chartered accounting course, whether it's CPA, Indian CA, ACCA, you'll end up understanding how to look at accounts, how to look at finance, how to look at tax, how to do audits, how to look at business. So CPAs beyond US companies also have the ability to serve Indian companies, especially large ones. Maybe there are Indian companies who also cater to the US market. Now, when it comes to the kind of profiles, like a normal chartered accountant or like an ACCA, it is quite varied. You can get into advisory, which is the largest of the lot. Advisory has risk advisory, it has accounting advisory, it has mergers and acquisitions, it has valuations. Whereas if you get into typical audit or tax, which also you might have to do it typically for the US companies. The salaries in India for a fully qualified CPA can go anywhere from 6 lakhs all the way to 10 lakhs, depending on if you have any prior experience and what kind of brand you're working for. Of course, as you have more and more experience, your salary packages keep growing. Lastly, when it comes to going overseas. Now, I have heard that if you work as a fresh CPA from India, you somehow get the opportunity to go to the US, you can earn between $60,000 to $70,000. I think roughly translated, that will be 40-50 lakhs. But of course, then you have the same kind of expense. However, it is more difficult to become a CPA and then directly go to the US. Most likely what you have to do is you have to build some experience of a few years here in known multinationals, again, typically the Big Four, and then apply in the US or find a way to get a job in the US. And CPAs in the US, of course, you can work also, but eventually you can also start practicing. And that is a decent enough goal. I have a colleague of mine who actually helped with a lot of Zell structuring, capital structuring. And he's an Indian chartered accountant and he went to Canada. So Canada also has scope and he settled down in Canada. But before he went to Canada, he ended up doing CPA US. CPA US also has the benefit of merging the CPA Canada qualification. And if you're a CPA US, you can also thrive in Canada. So I think this is covering the kind of typical jobs and salaries that you have in India and overseas as a CPA. As always, if we missed something, please leave it in the comments and we'll get back to you.